Hey, everybody, welcome to the Daily Grind where gamers find grace. This is episode should be 9. Sorry for missing the last 2 weeks. It was not my intention. If you've kept me in your prayers, I appreciate it. I have not passed my kidney stone yet. I'm still waiting. Who knows where it is? Only the MRI machine, the CAT scan, and God know exactly where it's in my body. But I am back. Now, we've got last week's should have been guest on the show tonight. Remember, this is the Daily Grind where gamers find grace. I'm your host, Shaun McAfee, and tonight we've got a very special guest. Like I said, Matt Swain. He lives at the intersection of gaming, media, and deep Catholic commitment. So we're going to welcome him later. He co-hosts the Sunrise Morning Show. Now, I don't listen to a lot of Catholic material. I just don't. I don't have a ton of time for it, and honestly, I'm not interested in all of it. But I listen to his show every day as I drive to work. And I wish that there was something that Matt could do on the way home from work. Maybe he can square that away one day. But it's a great show. We're going to tell you a little bit about that. He's also authored a really fun puzzle and word book game, which has actually yours truly on the back of it. He did this several years ago. We'll talk about puzzles and how he loves video games, maybe, or maybe what his son plays or something. We'll talk a little bit about that. But the one cool thing that I really love that Matt does is he is the producer of the Coming Home Network's The Journey Home. So I actually got to meet him in person after years of being on his show. Thank you, Matt, for squaring those book promos away and just having me on in general. But tonight's your turn. So whether you're waking up for holy hours or grind session or getting off of Battlefield 6, I really want you to meet Matt tonight. So stick around. And tonight we've also got a really fun boss battle. We're going to test Matt's true knowledge of Catholic radio. This guy knows everything. So, I always give everybody a bunch of softballs for these boss battles, but tonight I've made his pretty tough. We'll see if he can actually keep the batteries going. And at Poll Party tonight, we're going to play One Is Not the Other. So you guys are going to vote with your hashtags amongst 3 answers. You're going to choose one, and Matt will have to defend your answer. So we can give him something easy to defend. One is definitely not like the others, or we can goof up a little bit and give him a hard time and see how he can come up with it. He's good at thinking on his toes. Of course, he's a live radio host. He's way better at this stuff than me. So we're going to have fun. All right, so that's tonight's show. Stick around. We're going to have some fun. It's been 3 weeks. Let's hope we don't mess it up. And here going into spiritual. All right, spiritual patch notes. This is the section where we update the soul's firmware. Sometimes it takes a while, right? Especially if your internet connection's low or if your connection to God is low. Tonight's virtue is authenticity. In a world filled with filtered lives, highlight reels, Instagram doom scrolling, and respawns that never really have the game over, authenticity means showing up as you are, broken, hopeful, and redeemed. Or if you play Battlefield 6, you're constantly getting killed and never revived. Matt Swain knows something about that. His work with the Coming Home Network, Gospel Missions, is about real-life radical conversion, honest questions, and walking the walk even after the mic is off, especially for him, but definitely those guests on the journey home. So the patch note here is, be who you are and shine anyways because Christ made you, and for Christ you are called to shine. I made that up. Now let's talk about real scripture. Romans 12:2, chapter 12, verse 2 reminds us, do not be conformed to the world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. It says, put on the new man. That's not just Catholic speak, that's also gamer speak. And we've been going back and forth in the show, trading the analogies. So you don't just upgrade your gear in your games, you upgrade your mindset through all the challenges. To get past that boss, you had to acquire all of those capabilities and master them, and the game tests you. And the same is with life. We have to change our mindset to be authentic and let Christ show us who we truly are, which is who he made us to be. Now that's really authentic. So tonight, let's talk authenticity. How do you stay real in the respawns and the faster repairs in life? How do you live your faith when the live stream is off and the cameras are down? Think it over. Put some thoughts or emotes in the chat if this spiritual message resonates with you. And now let's get to checkpoint reflection. You know, I don't know what makes me more nervous, my wife being in the chat, monitoring what I'm saying when she's not around, or doing a live show with a guy watching who's been doing this for a couple decades now. I don't know which is more intimidating. Okay, checkpoint reflection. Chat, it's time. Pause the game sound for just a second. In the hustle bustle of streams, campaigns, level ups, sometimes the real quest is the one on the inside, right? Authenticity isn't just wearing a saint tag or quoting scripture in chat. It's showing up when the server actually crashes, right? The IRL raid is harder than any boss and nobody's watching. Think of St. Paul's weakness made strong logic, where we are weak, then we are made strong. That's from 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 10. That's authenticity through vulnerability. So what's the play when you're off stream, off screen, out of the Discord chat, and it's just you and your controller or you and your media? What habits protect your soul when no one's hitting the like button or the follow button or any of those kinds of things, giving you the emotes in Discord? As the saying goes, we're called to walk the walk and talk the talk. You may feel like sometimes your addictions or your habits or just your laziness, yeah, we all get there. Your laziness is just too much to overcome. And you're right. As a wise priest once told me, it is too much for you to overcome. You can't do it on your own. Christ is there to give you the grace to overcome these and grow to be the people that he created us to be. And that's what makes us authentic, is when we mirror him, when our soul magnifies him. Okay, mic drop moment or burr, burr, burr. Doesn't matter. That's your message for tonight. Enough of me. We're going to get on to meet this handsome man with no hair. Here we go into Cobot mode. All right. All right, if you're lurking, you can use the message that I put in there, the auto chat. If you're lurking, it's the exclamation lurk. We're also got a new emote on the way. I can't wait for you guys to use for it. All right, co-op mode. Activate. Our guest today is Matt Swain. This guy. Which side? That side. He's the co-host of the Sunrise Morning Show on EWTN Radio. Director of Outreach for the Coming Home Network. I think I said he was the producer. I'm pretty sure he's the producer. And he's the author of the Catholic Puzzles, Word, Games, and Brain Teasers, Volume 1 and 2, from Ave Maria Press. They always reject my book proposals. Just kidding. I don't make proposals. Please welcome Matt Swain. Matt, thank you for joining us. What did I miss, brother?
What'd you miss? You could say Bluegill Slayer. You could say
Pan Fry.
Amateur adult coloring book genius wizard. I'm not sure what else you'd add in there. I wear many hats. There are many things that I do, and you got almost everything right, at least as far as the things I have to report on W-2s. So
okay, yeah. So the one cool thing that my wife is super interested in that she learned about you a couple weeks ago when we met is you actually wanted to be a musician growing up, and you became a musician. Can you just share a little bit about that?
Oh gosh, I had friends ask me when I mentioned I was going on this. They're like, "Are you going to talk about all your nerdy days in the Christian punk and metal underground?" And I was like, "Yeah, you probably won't care about that stuff." But no, yeah, I played in Christian bands back in the late '90s, early 2000s, mostly on the kind of like the indie rock kind of world, alternative rock, a little bit of like post-punkish, emo, screamo-ish.
Okay, but you were playing some pretty big gospel shows like Ichthus and what else?
Yes, that's true. Yeah, so I actually
Hold on, Matt, my fingers hit a button.
Yes.
Chat, I'm sorry, we're going through the welcome introduction. I told you I would mess something up. It's okay. Shaun messes up. Make fun of me. Everybody's listening.
I'm on Game Boy.
This is all happening right now.
So this is probably freaking you out, but I'm a
No,
learner.
it's totally normal.
I'm like, oh yeah, that's something else went wrong. Okay,
The
sounds cool.
thing is that this intro is 90 seconds long, so everybody has to listen to it. I can't click away once it's going. It's actually a segment transition on OBS. So hold on, Matt. We're in the cathedral. I think we have two views of the cathedral. Yep, there we go. And then now I got to go and play some Blink 182. Hopefully, listeners have realized that this is just 8-bit, 16-bit Blink 182. All right, man. I completely messed that up, but it's okay. I'm not embarrassed. You don't see my face red. It's because I got these nice lights. Okay, so where do we pick off? You're playing at Ichthus. You're in a band called Eustace.
Yes, I was. I was also in a band called Death Through Adam. That was sort of like the prog metally, more screamy, thrashy, blast beady stuff. But
Wow.
yeah, that's a big part of my world. It's actually the world in which I became Catholic. There was a lot of conversation in that world about what makes music Christian. Are you making Christian music, or are you just Christians in a band? There was a lot of that kind of stuff going on, and to me, I was like, well, there has to be some good Christian reflection on what it means to make music to the glory of God. And that leads me to books about, what does it mean to make art of any kind, that honors God and like pours yourself into it, much like God pours himself into his own creative work,
Yeah.
right? And leaves his fingerprints all over it. So, behind that question is really the question of like the harmony of truth and beauty and goodness, and really there's only one place that you can get a really solid excellent answer to that, and that's in the well, I mean, you get a pretty decent answer from the Orthodox, but ultimately I ended up in the Catholic Church because what I didn't realize along that trajectory is I was also developing a sacramental imagination along the way, the realization that God is not just here to like save our brains and get us to intellectually assent to a series of principles, but he wants to kind of like touch us in every part of us that he made. So through every sense, through all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
Okay. Are we able to find any of this old music of yours? Because my wife and I were searching desperately for Eustace.
you might be able to find Eustace stuff on YouTube. There's a friend of mine who we used to go to like a bunch of shows together, and he was at one point uploading all these CDs from local bands. I'm gonna find a link.
Yeah, in fact, Kmart is like a master sleuth. I would be surprised if in the next 5 minutes he didn't come up with something.
K
Oh,
Kmart, look up, go on YouTube and look up Eustace Wonders in Science and see if I think that one's up there.
Wonders in
So,
Science
and Signs,
and
Wonders in
Signs.
Signs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now
See if that's in there.
you're the producer. Is it right to call you the producer of the Journey Home?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
you
so.
you you make the production, you get the guests, you pick good talent or so, and you fly them in, you get them hyped up, and you send them out there to be on the antithesis of Jerry Springer. If you were to give your Journey Home message in like 2 minutes or less, how would it go? Go for it.
I mean, really, that's it. So the only things I would add in are the things at the beginning. So I was raised in a very strong Christian family. A very strong member of my youth group, read my Bible all the time, Bible quiz. As a matter of fact, up here, we even have like trophies from my Bible quizzing era. What is this? This,
I love
this is a
that.
per, this is a perfect score on First Corinthians 1 through 13, probably from
Oh, that's a
1992.
great chapter.
Yeah. So actually it's 1 through 13. So it's
Love
13
chapter.
chapters. So anyway, involved in all this, but then there was a scandal in the church we were going to. This caused me
Oh,
to ask questions about the nature of authority.
right.
And I didn't realize it, but I was kind of like delving into the questions that the church dove into when it was wrestling with the Donatist controversy. Like,
Okay.
do I
Yeah,
believe
right. The power of
is
priest.
it right? Like, did I receive something that was not right because there were people who were passing it down to me who were flawed? And of course, I wasn't getting the sacraments in this world. It was very low church Protestantism, but it kind of makes you ask, like, well,
Yeah.
what is this all about? And that's really why I got into the punk rock and metal and all that stuff in the first place, because those bands were all talking about how like they didn't trust what the world was selling them that would make them happy, but they also didn't trust this polished, marketed, super slick version of Christianity either. So that's where I kind of hang out.
I don't
Yeah.
know if we're supposed to have a favorite heresy, but the Donatism is hands down my
It makes so
favorite
much sense, though,
heresy.
man.
Yeah.
If I was going to fall into one heresy, it'd probably be the Donatist
Wrap
things.
up wrap up Donatism in just a few words.
Okay, so basically, persecutions of the Emperor Diocletian, among others, happening in the very turn of the 200s into the 300s. A lot of good Christian martyrs gave their lives and did not renounce their faith, but some people were like,
Right.
well, I could just say
Right.
that I worship Caesar, and maybe they won't kill me, but in my heart, I know what I believe. Anyway, there are a lot of people who did not stay faithful under pressure. And then 313, Christianity becomes legal in the Roman Empire. 325, we get the Council of Nicaea, and Christianity is everywhere. Well, all these people are still around who renounced their faith, and everybody saw them do it.
Right.
And so the question is, well, that person baptized me. That person officiated my marriage. Like, that person gave me confirmation. Do I have to get those things redone? Because this person, caved under pressure. And of course, the church was like, no, it does not depend on how good or bad of a guy your person is. If they do it with the right form, the right matter, and the right intention, you got the sacraments, which is
Right.
an enormous comfort, actually.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. I haven't known too many bad priests, but obviously I came into the church on the tail end of all of the scandals of the
hmm
post John Paul II time. I think I had 1 year with Benedict. I came in 2012, and I had wondered the same thing: is, well, what do we do with all of this bad behavior? Does it? Well, first of all, I've never really bought into the logic of, look, this entire religion is bad or this entire denomination is bad because of, a few bad apples or whatever, however we want to tell ourselves that. But to me, it was really important to say, look, it's not the minister or even the administer of those sacraments holiness that we're relying on. The unimpeachable holiness comes from Christ himself that makes it 100% efficacious. And once I learned that, and I think that came again through Gibbons, think of learning that through Gibbons, James Cardinal Gibbons, The Faith of Our Father. That was a big turning point in my conversion, where I was like, dang, it doesn't matter how bad these priests are. If they're properly ordained, it's all Christ. And if I believe in him, and this is what he's asked this church to do, then it's a matter of what their behavior is, and it's a bad example rather than their behavior affecting the sacraments. I love that. It is my favorite heresy. I think it's your favorite heresy too.
It's okay. So let me just say, it's not my favorite heresy. I think probably if I was going to fall into one accident, like back into a heresy, it would probably be something like Pelagianism. The idea
Yeah,
that
that's a good one too. We'll ask you
But in
next
terms
time
of
you're on
like,
the show to wrap up Pelagianism.
yeah, it's the idea that you can kind of do enough stuff on your own power that to make yourself like completely worthy, which I don't believe it, but I can slip into that.
So if
But
there was like,
Donatism,
if
I
there
would
was,
say
if I could say
yeah,
real quick, if there was a
sure.
patron heresy of the show, it'd be Pelagianism, where gamers find
Pelagianism, you
grace.
think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a
Wait,
patron heresy.
because you don't earn. I mean, I guess gamers are notoriously probably susceptible to Pelagianism because you do have to work your way
Right,
to
right,
from level to level,
right. That's the
you know.
constant theme of the show. Is, yeah, there are many analogies between the game world and the real world, but ultimately, within the real world, Christ is doing all that grinding for you. We just have to cooperate. Okay, so I interrupted you. You were talking about Pelagianism.
Yeah, Pelagianism is the idea that you work your way, that you
Yeah.
can without the aid of grace specifically, you could be good.
All right.
And
All
that's
right,
a
let's
heresy.
talk about another project of yours, the Sunrise Morning Show. How did you go from being in bands to getting into radio?
So I got out of music around the time I got married, and yeah. So that's about when I started wrapping up stuff with
She
bands.
didn't
But
think
I
that
had
she didn't think that the vibe of having a musician as a husband was working.
Well, no, I mean, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was that
I'm
it's hard to make
teasing.
money and pay rent in these situations. But the other thing too is that you got, my degree is actually media communications, and I took a couple media theory classes and was like, I can't be in media. I will destroy my immortal soul just by getting it, like by working for any of these networks.
Right.
So I got completely out of it. Now, granted, I went in wanting to do radio because I grew up listening to baseball on the radio. I thought it'd be awesome to start my own radio station, and then uh, I just gave it up, and right after I became Catholic, or right as I was becoming Catholic, my wife was like, "Well, you should just call up the local radio station, local Catholic radio station, and offer to volunteer."
Nice.
And I was like, why not? And so I called them up, and they immediately called me in to see about hiring me. And I recall from a later conversation that the main reason he wanted to get me in there, the station manager, who was an old radio guy, was number one, there was somebody in the audience out there who knew a little bit about radio, just
Yeah.
enough to be dangerous.
Right.
And number two, he was so excited to find that there was somebody listening to Catholic radio in the area who was under the age of 85. So this was extraordinary. It was just I fit two bills at the same time. But yeah, one of the things that's important to know about radio is that you kind of have to understand, and this is harder with like a sort of like the way that podcasting operates and even streams like this. Radio is very much like an immediate medium. People use it
Right.
in real time whenever they use it,
Right.
much like television used to be, right? Um, so the kind of two most important slots of the day in radio are morning drive time and afternoon drive time. Those are
Right.
the times that people really listen. And there was no Catholic morning drive time show in our area. EWTN didn't have one. EWTN, I think, was rerunning Catholic Answers in the mornings,
In
which is a
Ohio at the
great
time?
show. Yeah, I was in Ohio, but I think EWTN didn't have they didn't have any kind of morning drive time show.
Wow.
Again, they're replaying programs from the night before, which,
Right.
I mean, in Catholic Answers, if you're going to replay something,
Yeah,
it's
replay that.
gold standard, right?
Right.
But nobody was telling you like what's the news, right? Whose feast day is it? All these little things that you can do as a Catholic to kind of be day setters that you get on morning radio in the secular world. We were getting a chance to do that. So I worked to develop that back in 2007. We
Yeah.
launched September 2007. Brian Patrick was the host. I was the producer. He went on to start EWTN News Nightly. I moved into the host seat, did that for a little while, stepped away for a little bit to join the Coming Home Network, and then came back and have been doing both
Right.
since about 2016.
Dang.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So Kmart says that's wild. He says here in the chat, that's wild. I hadn't realized you guys were really pioneering that. So working for EWTN, I remember you saying something in the car about the explosive growth, and I don't think a lot of people understand the I think that we look at the 90s and look at EWTN, they say, oh, they were already all over the world. They were already all over the country. But can you give us a little bit of insight about the like explosive growth that's happened just in the last like 15 years with some of these radio stations?
Yeah, so this weird thing started to happen right around the time that the iPod came out. Now, this isn't the only factor. This is just an easy factor to point to.
Right.
Uh, and it turns out that it gave people really easy access to just like put all the songs that they liked in a certain order and just hit play and get them in that order. And so all these big stations that used to be all over the place, that used to have live DJs
Yeah.
who would come in and out of songs and be like, oh, that was so and so by such and such band. That was Blink 182 by MIDI version by Shaun McAfee, whatever it is. Like, they basically were just like, well, what if we just fired all those people, saved money on the salaries, and just played the music and
Right.
sold the ads and
Right.
raked it all in. So all this talent got fired in all these different places. Satellite radio was on the move at that time too. And so turns out that if people were like, had the choice between listening to a bunch of songs with a DJ or not listening to songs with a DJ, they kind of would rather just pick their own playlist and listen to it in the privacy in their own home whenever they felt like it.
Right.
So all these stations started like losing market shares, losing advertising, losing all kinds of stuff. And so what happened is a lot of these stations that would have sold for gazillions of dollars back in like 1988 were suddenly getting on the clearance rack. And so that's kind of been a trend that's continued for a number of years. But let's say that you're a person who wants to do a Catholic radio station, and you're like, yeah, but we can't raise $20 million to start a Catholic radio station. Well, you don't have to do that anymore.
Right.
You could buy one of these suckers off the clearance rack, and EWTN's got this whole situation set up to where all you got to do, for starters, is just plug in your ID at the top of every hour that says,
Right.
you're listening to, WXYZ 92.9 FM,
Right.
and the
Mandatory
rest can be
station
free.
identification.
Right. And then the rest you can sort of build as you go. You're like, okay, now we want to start putting in prayers for local priests in the breaks. Now we want to start doing these other things. And so having that primary identity kind of already packaged and done has made it to where mean, gosh, there were probably around 20 stations when we got syndicated by EWTN back in like 2009,
Wow.
January of '09.
Okay.
And there are pushing 500 stations now. Um, that's just radio on the radio
500.
side. Yeah,
20 to
pushing 500.
500 in how many years?
'09 to now. Oh no, you're gonna make me do the math.
Oh,
Was it
okay.
16
Yeah.
years?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. To now. Dang,
Hmm.
man. So that is fast. I didn't realize that that's the way they. I mean, that makes perfect market sense. Go grab them like you said off the clearance rack. But that is brilliant. So okay. So what? I think you already probably touched on this a little bit. But how did the Sunrise Morning Show specifically kind of come around?
Yeah, I mean, it really was out of that. My station manager is an old school radio guy. He was one of those like deep voice kind of radio promo guys for a big secular station, but he had had this big reconversion and had been sort of tapped to do radio. And so he knew that if you want to make radio local programming that lasts, you got to have a morning show.
Right.
And so that's kind of, how it worked. I have like all these legal pads where I'm like, well, if we're going to make this work, it's got to be fast, right? You got to have a bunch of interviews an hour. You got to have, just like any secular station has, news at the top and bottom of each hour, right?
Right.
You want to have like, um, a little bit of sports, a little bit of everything. You have to realize that
Banter.
in a in a 15 to 20 minute segment in the mornings, you have to get people everything that they need, or at least a smattering of all kinds of things in 15 minutes so they feel
Right.
like they've gotten like
Right.
everything off of the buffet. It's very different than afternoon where you're like, I can finally take a deep breath.
That's so
So
true.
like, but Marcus Peter, who does Ave Maria in the afternoon, like if you listen to his show, sometimes he'll have a guest on for a half an hour or an hour because by that time of the day, you're like, okay, a lot of crazy junk happened today. Why don't I sit down and process a piece of it,
Right.
right? Take a deep breath and process it. So that's how those two things are function. They function
Dang.
very differently in the world of radio. But it was fun. Like I was like, well, what if we had a food segment every week, a Bible food segment? What if we had a This Week in Catholic History? What if we did a Saint of the Day whenever we got a saint that's worth talking about for 7 minutes? What if we did
Yeah.
every Friday we have two different priests in two different segments preview the upcoming mass readings. We got sections on the church fathers. We got sections on uh, culture, history, literature. We did a whole like 30-part series on J.R.R. Tolkien this summer, right?
Right.
There's the possibilities are unlimited because you could you could talk about almost anything for 7 minutes. That's kind of the fun of it. And when
Like
you've come on and done your books,
Eucharistic miracles.
like Eucharistic miracles, like I can get you on there, and if I got 7 minutes, I can
Seven
ask you.
months for 7 minutes.
I'm telling you, think about the fun that you can have, but it also means that you can really zero in and get something like
Right.
that's a real nugget. You don't
Right.
have to be like a generalist. A generalist has to kind of like figure out how do I stretch this conversation and take a deeper dive with this person. If you get those 7 minute segments, man, you can just cut straight to the chase and have fun.
Dude,
So I love it.
you're a wealth of knowledge, man. Like you're just blowing my mind with some of the angles. I've been on these radio shows, maybe a few hundred times now, promoting different books, different long form podcasts, different long form radio
Yep.
shows, bookmark and things like that. But I really never plugged in exactly why the radio in the morning is the way it is until you just explained it like that. And yeah, you're right. I want to crank up the car. I want to get going as soon as possible to work. And I want to hear Annie read those headlines immediately. And
Not everything,
I want to
but
hear
you
the
want to get a solid three
right.
or four,
Right. I
right?
want to hear the
Yeah.
secular side and I want to hear the Pope side, whatever's going on in Rome or whatever prayer intentions are. And then, yeah, and then I love the banter of you guys talking about like baseball and whatnot, like the in the park home runs and things like that. So real quick,
Oh yeah.
what did you think about the wrap up to the World Series? Did you stay up all night for that?
I stayed up for Game 7 to the very end.
Dang.
I
How many
stayed up
innings
all
did
the
it
way to
go? I don't think because I
that
stayed up
went
till like,
11.
yeah, I went to bed I turned the TV off at the 10th or something like that. And I was like, I guess I'll find out in the morning. And to me, at that point in time, the Dodgers had so much momentum that I was like, okay, Blue Jays, you're not coughing
They
up the
actually
runs
had
anymore.
a different word that starts with an M. It's called money.
Ah,
That's what the Dodgers. They say money can't buy happiness, but it can buy a World Series.
yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, so did it turn out favorably for you? Were you cheering for one of the other? I know
No,
that
of course
you're
I
a
was.
Giants fan, right?
No.
No, my buddy
Cincinnati.
Ryan is. You're a Cincinnati fan,
Cincinnati Reds.
but you're not.
Cincinnati.
You didn't choose a side on the finals.
No, so I chose the Blue Jays
Yeah,
because
right. They
the
had such
Dodgers
an advantage.
are
I mean,
evil.
yeah, we've talked through this. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next part.
Did I ever tell you, by the way, the time that I went to Peter Craif's office and interviewed him in his office?
No.
So Peter Craif's a big baseball guy too. I
Is
don't
that
know
at the
how many of
college?
you. That's at Boston College.
Yeah.
We sat down with him and did some stuff, and I walked into his office, and Peter Craif's office is exactly like you would imagine it. It's like this, except it's all like Lord of the Rings movie set memorabilia and like Ratzinger books and
Exactly what you'd
all,
expect.
exactly what you expect. But on one of the shelves, he's got this some signed baseballs and a couple cards and some other stuff, and I see this chessboard with like Boston and New York as the chess pieces, baseball players.
Dang.
It's like, I like your chessboard, Dr. Kraft. He's like, yep, that's the Red Sox versus the forces of evil. Yes.
Awesome, man. Well,
Yes.
rest in peace to Pete Rose, my first boss. Still keep in touch with him. What do you mean? What's that? I saw you go like this when I saw the Pete Rose comment. Yeah,
I thought you were gonna. Oh,
no, my boss
I thought
had
you said Pete Rose was your first boss, and I was like,
no. Rest in peace to Pete Rose, my first boss. I thought you were going to bust out a fact for me. My boss had a signed
I do have a
jersey of
fact.
his in his office for years. I'm like, how much is that thing worth now? Should have heisted that thing from him. Put a fake up there, you know. Okay, Matt, let's talk about your written
okay,
works.
wait, can I give you a Pete Rose thing real quick?
I knew you were going to do it. That's why
Okay.
I know your facial expressions already.
All right, so do you know when Pete Rose died?
Wasn't it like 2 years ago?
Uh, well, I can't remember if it was 1 year or 2 years ago. He died on September the 30th.
Okay.
Pete Rose.
Okay.
And there's a statue of him doing the head first slide outside of Great American Ballpark in
Right.
Cincinnati. And that evening, there was just roses covering the statue of Pete Rose.
Oh.
You know what the next morning was?
Uh,
What day comes on the calendar after September 30th?
Well, for me, it's the
It's
first day of the next fiscal year.
Okay, well, it's October 1st. Do you know whose feast day is October 1st?
You know all these things.
That'd be Saint Therese of
Ah,
Lisieux.
okay, okay.
Pete,
The rose.
scoundrel that he was, got a shower of roses on the vigil of Saint Therese.
Isn't that nice?
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Well, my favorite rose is Saint Rose of Lima. Name my daughter's middle named after her. Anyways, okay.
Good name.
Thank you. So tell us about this book, Catholic Puzzles. Why did you decide to go for? You got a head of knowledge. You meet so many different people. You hear all the conversion stories. Why did you go for a puzzle book?
So I have written a couple of books, one on the Eucharist, and then one called Prayer in the Digital Age, which I don't know that either one of them's print. I wrote Prayer in the Digital Age back in like 2010, maybe
Okay.
2011, and it bombed. Anna Mitchell always refers to it as my New York Times bestseller, to make fun of me. And it was about prayer and kind of like thinking about prayer and the sea and ocean of distractions, but it was since like 15 years ago. The world was very different then, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, will this teach my parish how to make its own Facebook page?" That's where the world of the church was. So nobody bought it, and so I was like, "I'm not going to do any writing." And then my friend Lisa Hindy, who you may know, ended up taking a gig in acquisitions for Ave Maria Press, and she hit me with a note saying, "Hey, are you working on anything? Anything you want us to take a look at to see if it's a fit?" And I was like, I don't want to write anything about anything. If you want a book on prayer, don't read my stuff. Go read Teresa of Avila.
Right.
What am I going to write that's like even in that universe? And she's like, well, any other projects maybe? I was like, well, I've been teaching seventh grade CCD, and the book is so terrible that I've been coming up with my own material, including my own like little quiz and puzzle worksheets to help them learn the stuff. You want me to see if I could whip together something like that for grown-ups? And she's like, yeah, let's give it a shot.
Wow.
And so we did,
Cool.
and that was it.
You going to do more?
So I've thought about it. They were fun to put together, and it was actually the most fun part was sort of like testing them out on people just to
Right.
make sure that they worked.
So here's the book.
Because when you do a puzzle book, by the way, you want to make sure you have some stuff that's easy and some stuff that's hard, and a few things that are impossible.
Right.
but you can't have all of any of those three things.
Right.
That was the big challenge.
So some of these obviously are more Catholic, some of these entries, these puzzles, these word searches, and some of them are more, I'd say, secular, 1977 sci-fi film, USO comedian. How did you throw those ideas together in here? How did you and I know sometimes the publisher says, hey, let's go in this direction, but how much levity did you have and how did you put the list of puzzles together?
Okay, so I had total free creative freedom. And so I went through a bunch of, those grocery store crossword puzzle books, like the big book of 100 gazillion word games, and I found stuff that I either liked or thought I could adapt or like create my new puzzle off of. And the one that you were just referring to, actually, if I recall, you might not think it's Catholic. It's more secular, but it is actually Catholic. So the quiz there was every answer to that thing was going to have the word hope in it because of the
Ah, Bob
theological
Hope.
virtue of hope.
Okay.
So USO comedian is Bob
Bob
Hope.
Hope. Yeah.
1977 Star Wars smash hit film is
A New Hope.
Star Wars A New Hope. You know, these
Okay.
kinds of things.
The southern tip of Africa, Cape of Hope or Hope Cape, Cape Hope.
Good hope. Good
Okay,
hope.
CBS medical drama. Um, Not ringing a bell for me. What is
Where's our
that?
Pope from?
Chicago. Hope, Chicago? Chicago Hope?
Chicago Hope.
Okay, that was in the late 90s, right? Okay,
Yep.
English translation of the inscription on Hell's Gate to Dante's Inferno. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here.
There you go.
Okay,
Yeah, you're on it.
1977 sci. Oh, okay, that was
That's the
goalie
Star
gold
Wars.
medal.
Oh,
Hope
gold medal
Solo?
goalie. Hope Solo. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Presidential birthplace.
So
That one's
not
tough.
Han Solo, by the way. Presidential birthplace. Uh, what if I
Dude,
told you I still believe in a place called Hope? Bill Clinton.
wow.
Hope,
I
Arkansas.
mean the way you do the thumb there.
Yeah.
I might just very shamelessly steal a lot of these for the games that we do here on the show.
Do it.
That'd
Do
be
it. Steal
fun.
them all, man.
Yeah, just don't tell Ave
I don't even.
Maria.
I don't even need attribution at this point. Like, I don't think I make but like 6 cents a copy on these. So
That's awesome. Okay, well, we're going to throw some links in the chat for that. Hopefully, get a few people to pick those up. I'm going to buy a couple for my kids because this is actually my copy that you gave me when I did the endorsement. Which, thanks for asking me to do that. It's been special to
yeah,
be
I
connected
thought
with
you were
things like
just.
this.
I thought you were the right temperament for it. So
Yeah,
that's why I asked you.
yeah. I remember you were like, "Okay, can you put together something and name some saints?" I remember a conversation like it was yesterday, and I was like, "Sure." Just did. I think I had just done "Reform Yourself" with Catholic
Yep.
Answers, and I definitely had a couple little gamer things in mind. So, all right. So before we get on to boss battle, tell us about your interest in video games, where it started from, where it is now, and whether you're going to download Battlefield 6 and resurrect me one day.
All right, so my perspective on this, and my son is in the room with me, and he is just like making like I'm gonna bring the cringe, and I'm gonna bring it hard.
Yeah.
So first games I remember were things like we had this one called Merlin, which was just like a thing that would beep, and you would kind of like respond to beeps. It's like a memory game. I also had some of those Tiger Electronic handhelds
Yeah.
that were like super old school and glitchy. But back when the first NES came out, and, because I was one of those kids who was like pretty sheltered, so I would go over to other people's houses
Sure.
and play all their video games, and you have to
Same.
like tear the sheltered kid away from the video games.
Yeah.
That was sort of my life, but my parents made a deal with us, me and my at that point two younger brothers, and they said, "We'll buy you an NES. It's $100 plus tax, brings it to 106. If you all raise $53, we'll come with the other $53." And so we did. We did all kinds of money jobs around the house, but the money jobs were like wipe down all the baseboards in the stairwell for a nickel or
Yeah.
something like that.
Oh,
So
whoa, that's
we
cheap.
we worked our way. We got there. We got there. But yeah, NES is my system. It is. It's always going to be. I've played the other systems. I think it's the perfect ergonomic button setup of all controllers. Uh, there are new controllers that have more buttons when I play Switch with my son and we're playing Smash Brothers, I can't tell what's happening on the screen. I can't tell what the buttons are on the thing. I'm an old man. Give me the ergonomically perfect original NES controller.
You didn't think that the
And
SNES was a an upgrade to the NES controller?
so when that was really happening, I was so dialed in on NES stuff that I didn't go into the Super NES. Now, when Super Nintendo first came out, there was this myth that if you like uh flipped over your NES and like cracked open the bottom of it, you could hotwire your NES to take SNES games.
What?
And yeah, who knows how many thousands of people
Tried it.
ruined their
Right.
NES, or it was like a Tide Pod challenge. And there was no internet for anybody to verify this. So that's as close as I ever really came to playing SNES. I played a little bit of N64. I think I played. Oh, was WWE Royal Rumble? Was that
We got a follower. We have my deceased duck walking across the screen. Thank you for the follow.
Duck Hunt? So the I can't remember. Was that N64? Was that
Is that the last one
I
you
can't remember what
had
it was.
until you had
So
children?
I actually didn't own those. We ended up picking up a Wii. That was the next game I really bought, or next system I really bought. I had a PS3, but the only games I really played on PS3, there was a Lord of the Rings game that was pretty sweet. There was Madden, whatever year it was that came out, that was in continuity with the year that I got the PlayStation. And then my all-time favorite game on PS3, which I now play on Switch as well, is Katamari Damacy.
Oh
Did you ever
my
play that one?
gosh. I know the game. Yeah, I'm not too into it, but we've got a few people in the Discord who love games like that, especially the Japanese cultural games.
It has the best soundtrack of any video game, and it's not close.
Oh man,
It's
there's a lot of
incredible.
really good games out there.
Yeah, I don't care. None of them are Katamari Damacy when it comes to the musical element of it. Uh, are you familiar with what the gameplay is?
Isn't it like it's kind of like well, just describe it because I can describe
Okay.
it only by giving you the visual because I've seen the trailers.
Yeah, the visual will not tell you what it is.
Okay.
What it is the king of all cosmos gets drunk one night and accidentally wipes all the stars out of the heavens. But he's got all these little children that are like this big, and he's like, well, what you have to do is you have to like collect all these items until it gets big enough to where we can turn them into a star and throw it up
Right.
in the sky and repopulate the sky with stars. So what you do is you're like this little person. You start. It's like a snowball, and you roll up like a paper clip and a thumbtack and like a pencil eraser and these other things, and the ball gets bigger, and suddenly you can roll up bigger and bigger stuff, and then you're rolling up like books and like tables and like couches and houses and cars and giraffes and elephants, and the thing you just keep on rolling stuff up.
That is hilarious. Yeah, it's the one with like the roller and it's got the centerpiece guy and he's like turning, right?
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. They in fact I think that's on the virtual console on the older SNES ones are on the virtual console there now too. So
Yeah.
awesome, man. Well, dude, we got carried away and we went way over time. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
There's no time limit with this, but you ready to get into boss battle? You gave me a ton of Catholic guilt for not knowing that precise Saint's Day, the feast day
oh,
of
Saint
Saint
Therese.
Therese, and now it's time to get you back in boss battle and see how much you know. Okay.
Okay, sounds
All right,
good.
here we go. All right, is your son enjoying the show so far? What's the feedback like? Is he laughing or is he like, oh boy, this sucks?
He's cringing so hard he's in the fetal position.
Okay, well, welcome to Boss Battle. This is the part of the show where we put our guest to the test. Tonight's Boss Battle is called Word on the Air, and it's all about Catholic radio, word games, and the power of communication. Let's see if Matt Swain, our guest, can stay tuned in and on frequency for 15 rounds of wordy warfare.
15.
Now, you have 10 batteries on the screen. If people donate bits or subscriptions, whether it's a new subscription or not, we can raise your batteries by blessing you. But if they cheer bits or give subscriptions or renew their subscriptions and they say damned, then they're damning you and you're going to lose batteries automatically. Sometimes our guests like
That
to play.
sounds kind of harsh.
Yeah, it is. So, nobody has ever ended up with zero batteries. Don't worry. And you should know a lot of these. So, all right, you ready?
Yeah, how many people are in there to get my back? Is like how many
I
people do
don't
I have
know.
to
We've got
persuade out of the
13
chat?
people watching, and it just depends
One of
on
them will
who's here
betray
and
me.
when payday is. All right, here we go. First up, what was the very first Catholic radio in the U.S.? Catholic radio network in the U.S.?
Radio Maria?
No, EWTN radio.
It was EWTN?
You just missed a battery, buddy.
Oh, I got batteries to spare. Hey,
No, you got.
you should be impressed I even know what Radio Maria is because Radio Maria is all over the world and mostly on shortwave.
Right. Yeah.
And
That's what we
they're in a lot of
listen
places that
to.
nobody can
I
go.
think that's what we listen to here. We do have EWTN because we have Catholic Community Radio, right?
If you listen to Radio Maria, you listen to it from some place that I'm not allowed to know you were.
Right. Okay. So pirate stuff. Okay. Next one. The Sunrise Morning Show airs on which Catholic radio network? And we can say networks.
Is this multiple choice?
Well, no. So usually I would, but I'm not going to give this to you. Which network is it on?
Okay, so
name two.
It's a production of Sacred Heart Catholic Radio syndicated to 400 affiliates and change through the EWTN Global Catholic Radio
Boom.
Network. But
Boom.
It would be, did I formulate it right?
Yep, you got it exactly right.
All right, we're good then. We're
Sacred
good.
Heart Radio, and then EWTN syndicates it. Okay, cool. The word Catholic comes from the Greek Katholikos. What does it mean?
Universal.
There you go. The Universal Church. Which saint is the patron of journalists and writers? Perfect for Catholic radio hosts.
Let's see if I got him on the shelf. It's St. Francis de Sales.
Oh, man, you're good. Okay, you have a relic?
No, well, actually, there is a relic down at the studios, but it's not out for display. So I could have shown you a relic of St. Francis de Sales while you were in town.
Dang. Okay, well, next time, right? Another 8 years I'll be in town. Okay, in crossword terms, this is a little tough. In crossword terms, what's the word for a clue that tricks you with double meanings? In crossword terms, what's the word for a clue that tricks you with double meanings?
Like a red herring?
Final answer. You lost a battery on that one, buddy. It's cryptic clue. Cryptic clue. Yeah. Okay. Fill in the blanks.
Only cat ladies know that one.
This is from your book. Fill in the blanks. Faith comes by blank, and hearing by the blank of God.
Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God.
There you go. Hearing. Which is why I don't pick up my missal at Mass. Everybody's like, pay attention, Shaun. I'm like, no, faith comes by hearing.
Which is, by the way, also why certain fundamentalist groups have had debates through the years as to whether you have to be able to hear in order to receive the gospel.
Whoa. Okay.
Believe it or not, that's been a debate in certain circles.
Interesting. Okay, I never heard that one. Okay, in a word search, what's the longest word from the Nicene Creed?
Well, I want to say consubstantial, but let me think through here. Did I already get it?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
But you don't get batteries back. People have to buy your batteries. Okay, you've got 8 remaining. You're doing fine. The word good has many... Oh, no. Sorry. What famous Catholic author once said, the word good has many meanings, but in the highest sense, it belongs to God alone?
Okay, that's not what quote I thought you were pulling from. I'm going to say...
In fact, you're not going to like the answer to this.
I'm not going to like the answer to this.
This is a cryptic clue.
I'm gonna go ahead and just say that I don't know this because I have about 20 people that I know it could be. It could be John Paul II. It could be Thomas Aquinas. It could be.
I'll tell you this: he's a small
Frank Sheed.
He's a small C Catholic.
So it's probably C.S. Lewis.
Boom, got it. Okay.
Okay, so can I tell you the quote that I thought you were gonna do?
No. I'm just kidding. Yes.
So Chesterton has another quote about good having many meanings. And the example he uses is if a man were to shoot his grandmother from 20 paces, I would say he's a good shot, but I wouldn't say that he's a good man.
Oh, wow. Dang. You know all
that's
the
where
good
I thought
quotes.
you
I told you this.
That's what I thought you were going for.
No, I wish I was. I don't remember all the idioms like you. Okay. And then you say, what did you call me? Idiom. Okay, if EWTN were a crossword clue, what might the answer be?
Oh, so EWTN would be the clue, or EWTN would be the answer?
EWTN is the crossword clue. What would the answer be?
How many letters?
There's no wrong answer here, Matt.
Oh,
I gave you the answer.
how do you
Go,
spell EWTN?
exactly.
That's what.
Okay, so I would
Eternal Word
say
Television Network. There you
exactly,
go.
yeah, or radio network started by uh, what? Port St. Clair. Sorry, I'm getting the words mixed up.
St. Clair
None from
Perpetual, Port
the
Clare Perpetual Adoration.
right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Port Clare.
The poor
Perpetual.
Claires. Okay, what's the literal meaning of the word radio? You're gonna lose a battery on this one.
I'm going to lose a battery on it because I think it's an acronym.
That's laser.
Oh, okay. And scuba. Radio. I'd say that which goes out.
Okay, it means to send out rays, to radiate.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. On air bloopers are a part of radio history, but what's the Catholic word for accidentally saying something embarrassing in the confessional?
Oh, you mean besides a Freudian slip?
Not that.
Accidentally. Okay.
Close. This is an old world Catholic term.
Is it now?
I think so.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I had to dig deep to find it.
Is this a real term?
It's a real term.
It's a real term.
It's a confessional blooper. Okay, you lose
Probably
battery.
shows up in the casuistry manuals of the Jesuits of the 16th century or something.
It's a type of slip. You want to take a guess?
Satanic slip.
No, it's a pen slip.
A pen slip.
It's just
Yeah, I
called
would
a pen.
never have gotten that one.
Just called a pen slip. All right. Matt Swain co-hosts the Sunrise Morning Show. What are the words to the jingle that we hear coming in from a break?
Oh, you asked me to see if I know.
Yeah, because I honestly can't make out the first couple words.
So I also didn't write the jingle. A jingle company pitched that to us, and we just went with it. So it's arise, it's a new day. Hear his word. Let us pray.
Okay.
The Sunrise Morning Show, a better way to start your day.
Okay. And then there's a shorter one that comes in off of like breaks, right?
Yeah, sometimes it just says the Sunrise Morning Show. It's just the words. Just the name of the show.
I'm laughing hysterically because I can't really figure out what they're saying on it. I've guessed that it says the Sunrise Morning Show, but the first couple of
Actually,
words are just yeah.
you may be interested to know. Do you know where the theme song for The Journey Home comes from?
Whoa, we
You know
got a
this
new
one?
sub, and this was his first time in chat. Thank you, Pigeon.
All right, buddy.
All
Pigeon
right.
Man.
Do I know where the no, I don't.
Okay, so Marcus Grodi, is a musician too. Piano, a little bit of guitar. Big
Okay.
James Taylor fan, and he wanted something that was sort of soothing and of that vibe. And
Okay.
he, or somebody near him, found in one of the national parks, like a CD of songs inspired by the Everglades by a jazz fusion folk band called Checkfield. And so the song is actually called Leaves of Grass. No, River of Grass. Leaves of Grass is one with it. River of Grass, about the Everglades. And there are no actual words.
Yeah, because it's kind of
It's just
just
people
a
just ooh and ah and yeah.
yeah, it's just kind of ethereal. Okay, cool. Well, thank you for answering that because that was my personal question that I had to get out for the night. Okay, in a word search of Catholic devotions, which of these would be the hardest to find backwards? Rosary or Eucharist? Or Sacred Heart? Or Sacred Heart?
Or Sacred Heart.
Rosary, Eucharist, or Sacred Heart?
I would probably say Sacred Heart because all those letters are like if you're on Wheel of Fortune, it's RSTLNLE, right? Those
Are you good at
those
spelling
are
backwards?
no, I'm not particularly.
Me neither.
Do you want me to spell any of those backwards?
Spell
I
Sacred
can
Heart
do it.
backwards. You got 2 seconds.
Oh, I
Okay, failed.
TRAE.
And the answer is Sacred Heart because it's two words together. So, okay, couple more here. If Catholic radio were a Scrabble play, this is going to be fun for you. If Catholic radio were a Scrabble play, those two words, what's the highest scoring letter that you have?
Oh, Catholic radio and a Scrabble play, that'd be probably the C. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Dang.
C.
Yeah, you almost nixed yourself there. Okay, yeah, it is the C. A lot of people would go for the R, but no, R's are actually not worth as much.
Actually, that's also the answer to a pirate. What's a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
No,
C?
it'd be
The
the
C.
C.
To be the C. Yeah, okay, I've heard that. Okay, and finally, the last boss battle question. Which Vatican II document on social communications affirmed the media rightly used to be a great service to mankind?
Intermarifica.
Boom, you got it. Okay, good job, Matt. You ended up with 7 batteries, and I think you did marvelous. I tried to throw you some softballs. What'd you think?
Well, how have I done compared to other guests you've had on? Like, am I
Definitely the worst.
okay?
No.
Am I the first?
We had a couple that have, now you're the ninth guest. We only started the show in August. So you're the ninth guest. And I think we had a couple that didn't know the answers so bad that they just started yelling at me belligerently. And it was funny. I laughed my way through the whole thing. But I also said to my guys in the back, I said, okay, we're not doing that again. So you did just fine. You did exactly what you're supposed to. And you showed us that you have a wealth of knowledge, which is what we had to do. Okay, you ready to go into poll
Okay.
party?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Poll party. Oh my gosh, Kmart in the chat is exactly right. We did get a subscriber during that, and I was supposed to say how it was going to do, and he said bless. Ah, so you ended up with 12, which is, I think we've had people end up with like 8. So good, good. They saved you. Okay, poll party
Thank
time.
you.
This one's called Which One's Not Like the Other? Faith and Frequency Edition. I'll give you 3 things. Is there a way to kill it? I know. How dumb.
Why would you kill the original Game Boy?
And I got that off of I got this image off of AI. I did this whole thing, this whole intro with AI. Until I can afford to buy like a better show.
You trust the robots. The robots will betray you.
You know, they're my friends. Look, if you pay attention to this too, like it kind of doesn't make sense. Like this one, his head is facing backwards. And it's 2 different cathedrals on the inside.
Wow.
Yeah. You can actually pick out some of the window art too. This kind of one looks like one of those Italian ones that we accidentally bombed. Okay, let me go back to poll
It wasn't
party.
an accident.
There's a lot of them that we didn't do on accident. Stray bombs hitting those railway stations, and all those churches are next to it. That's actually how we moved St. Lucy. That's why they call in Venice, a lot of people don't know this, the Santa Lucia train station there. It's the main train station that brings everybody into Venice. And her body was like right there at the train station. We bombed that church on accident to get rid of the rails, and because the Nazis were occupying it. And we had to move her body just further into the city down by San Marco. So people who want to go to San Lucia and be like, where's the body? Where's the incorrupt body? You got to walk. So, okay. This one is called, this poll party, it's called One Is Not Like the Other, Faith and Frequency Edition. Like I said, I'll give you 3 things. 2 belong together like fish on Fridays, but one is the odd one out. Now, some of these don't have to make sense. You guys vote with the hashtags, and what Matt's going to do is Matt is going to have to answer for your answer. Whatever you guys come to a consensus on through your blind voting, he will have to defend. Okay, Matt?
So I have to defend a lie if the lie wins.
If they say that the 2 things, like the first one, if it's EWTN relevant radio over Radiohead, obviously Radiohead's the one out. But if they want to say why EWTN is not like the other 2, You got to defend
I have
it.
to defend that.
Yep, you got to think on your
Okay.
feet. Okay, we're going to put 60 seconds up on the clock. That's actually below him, behind him. And here's the first one. Which one of these things is not like the other? EWTN, hashtag EWTN, relevant radio, hashtag relevant radio, or Radiohead, hashtag Radiohead. Which one does not belong on your preset list? And if anybody's looking for the spelling, Kmart's posting these into the chat the entire time. And Matt, feel free, you or your son, to vote. You can get out your phone too. I'm gonna make him do EWTN.
Oh, you guys are being mean to me now.
Yeah.
Being mean to me.
This one's a fun
What?
one.
So wait, so is the blue one the one that
The blue one is Radiohead, and that has only got one vote. So right now the consensus that's not like the other is EWTN.
Oh, people, I have a perfect joke if you guys vote Radiohead.
Doesn't look like
My
they are.
gosh.
We'll have to hear it anyways. All right, probably got like 30
Okay.
seconds left on the poll. Okay, the poll ended. It is EWTN. Why is EWTN unlike Radiohead and Relevant Radio?
Because it's got more boomers. I don't know. No.
Okay, what's the Radiohead joke? I'm gonna clip that later
What?
and put it on YouTube.
Radiohead's in the poll. What the hell are they doing here? They don't belong here.
All right, round two. Let's reset this. Round two.
I can't believe you made me do that. That's the walk of shame.
Yeah, that was funny. Round two. Psalms, hashtag Psalms, Proverbs, hashtag Proverbs, or hashtag playlists. One of these is not your Bible app. You guys vote. Vote now. I'm going to go with... Trekkie says, I couldn't look you in the eye. I'm going to go with Psalms. Oh, we got 3 votes in. This is the first time in the show's history we have 3 different colors there on the pie chart. Usually people are pretty
Oh my goodness.
between 2 answers. And
By
this
the way,
isn't-
shout out to whoever else just threw the other Radiohead reference in. I appreciate you.
Yeah, that was Trekkie. He's a priest.
Don't leave me high and dry. Come on.
All right. So Proverbs is the one that's winning right now. All right. Oh, we just got a couple votes from Psalms. This one's going to come out pretty close. If there's a 3-way, I'll break the 3-way.
Okay.
No, Proverbs. Okay, poll ended. Proverbs. Why is Proverbs not like Psalms or playlists?
Because I would say it has the letter V in it. I don't know. Which one's not in your Bible app? I would say probably because they couldn't get a celebrity to read the Proverbs. I don't know.
All right. Wah, wah, wah.
I'm just kidding.
All right, round 3. Here we go. Which one of these is not like the other? Hashtag morning offering, hashtag drive time, or hashtag mosh pit. Only one of these shouldn't happen in your car on the way home from work. On the way to work, okay. Well, obviously.
On the way to or from, that'll change the color of this answer.
Exactly. Yeah, you guys decide. Mosh pit. I like this. Dude, you explaining the difference between afternoon radio and morning radio was brilliant. I never looked at it like that.
It ain't rocket surgery.
How about night radio? That's usually like prayers, right? Those are like the pre-recorded.
Well, yes, a lot of that stuff, people up in the middle of the night. Actually, Catholic Answers does well because they're in that like post-dinner rush where, sometimes they get people who they finally had a chance to actually get on their phone.
Right.
Yeah. 6 to 8 slot. Is this dead even? This one's dead even, I think.
They're going to have to change things up too because they're moving to Ohio, I heard.
Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know if that cat's out of the bag, but yeah, you heard it here.
Well.
Okay, poll ended.
I don't know if Santa's not real or not, but your father and I were talking. Yes.
Okay, so why should you not be doing mosh pits on the way home?
On the way home or the way into work?
On the way into work.
On the way into work, I would say, because you mess up your makeup.
Brilliant. This is the perfect game for you, man. Okay, round 4. Hashtag catechism, hashtag canon law, or hashtag cannonball. Well, the quip that I have here on the script is which one would the Vatican not recommend? But the Vatican does have some pretty high walls, which did defend against armies. So I don't know. Catechism, canon law, or cannonball? You guys vote. I'm gonna
Now,
get.
bear in mind, we're coming up with a feast of Pope St. Leo the Great, who was able to repel Attila the Hun without firing a single shot.
Yeah, exactly.
So, let's see. Oh, wow, we're good. This is getting. I'm watching this out of the corner of my eye on my son's computer, and so I'm trying to see what's happening here.
Do you know what town
Oh,
he visited Attila the Hun in?
was it Milan?
No.
I have no idea.
Piacenza.
Piacenza.
Piacenza, just south of Lake Garda, where they actually were fighting battles, naval battles on this lake. It's an enormous lake in the what was the Burgundy region. Now it's Veneto. Okay, because Venice has the money. All right, the poll has ended. Defend canon law. Why is that not like Catechism and Cannonball?
It's not like Catechism and Cannonball because a monkey can understand the Catechism, and Cannonball Run is geared at less intelligent audiences. But canon law, you got to be real smart.
Dang, I thought you were gonna make a. I thought you were gonna make a Super Monkey Ball reference there with Catechism.
No,
monkeys,
so
and then Cannonball.
there was a quote that I saw from I think Amy Wellborn put it up the other day on her blog, and I thought it was just absolutely fantastic. And this is why I think it would actually be a canon law thing. So one of Wall's characters, some vicar, says, "I've noticed again and again since I've been in the church that lay interest in ecclesiastical matters is often a prelude to insanity."
Wow.
All I can say is if you want to get involved in a very stupid argument that goes nowhere, where everybody acts like they're smarter than they actually are, just bring up canon law
Yeah.
or Thomism or something on the internet.
That's
and let
why
people who Googled something.
That's
pretend
why
to be
in the
smart.
Discord we've got a section in there where only experts can answer, and it's all priests.
I like it.
And then
I like it.
And then I do allow myself to answer because well,
It's your channel.
it's my channel and I do know the answers. So okay, round 5. I think you're gonna have fun with this one. Rosary, #rosary, vinyl, #vinyl, or podcast. #podcast. Which one of these is less likely for you to take up in the future, Matt? Rosary, vinyl, or podcast? I'm hoping you pray your rosary.
Are you able to see that this is all vinyl back
Oh,
there?
that is, isn't it? I thought that was
all
just
vinyl.
copies of. I thought that was just the end of your book, like a whole.
No,
No,
that's all vinyl.
That's
This is
cool.
vinyl right here.
Dang, man,
Father Dustin and his red hot banjo.
that is.
I got vinyl.
cool.
I got vinyl like you would not believe.
I've got heretical books like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, I got a few of those. As a matter of fact, we even did a podcast, you and I, on what should you do with
Yeah,
your
the
old
Maria
Protestant books when you
Monk.
become Catholic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
didn't I bust it out?
I think we talked about Pilgrim's Progress on that one.
We
Oh,
did.
yeah.
Yeah. That is.
I think it's a dead
okay.
heat. Can I pick podcasts since it's a dead heat?
Yeah, go for it. Thank you.
Here's why podcast is not something you'll be hearing on Sacred Heart Radio anytime soon, because radio is structured to where it has to hit a certain number of breaks an hour, and it has to hit them at certain times. So, for instance, we have to hit a break at 21 minutes past the hour every hour on the Sunrise Morning Show, because every single one of those affiliates has a mechanical situation set up to where on their end, the computer automatically takes a break at that time. Podcasts, however, are not bound by time in any meaningful way.
Yes.
They
I
can
am
be-
proud to say that my radio interactions have never had to be cut off. I hear the music come through my head.
You hear the music coming up,
and then
Yep.
I'm like, okay, wrap your answer up, Sean.
You want to know another trick related to that? We have all these music beds that were actually written, produced, and recorded and performed by our station manager. And we have a whole bunch of them that are exactly 60 seconds long. So we start them with exactly 60 seconds left to go, and I've listened to them enough times that I can hear how much time is left in the thing.
That's the art of a beautiful man with no hair. All right, round
Exactly.
6. #Ave Maria, #Hail Mary, or #Freebird. I think I probably should have done like a bird related one. Now I'm looking at this. Like could have been like Freebird, Paraclete, Dove. That would have been fun.
Love the what's that? The People Look East song. Love the bird is on the way.
Yeah.
Is the line in there?
Okay, hashtag Ave Maria, hashtag Hail Mary, or hashtag Freebird. Is your son laughing over there? What's his take? Is he looking back in like, come on, Dad?
He's asking me how he should vote. I think for this man, just be an agent of chaos. Just
Yeah. Make him defend the Hail Mary.
some people just want to watch the world burn.
Okay, we're coming up on the end. Get your votes in. Looks like Ave Maria is the winner. Why is Ave Maria not like Hail Mary and Freebird?
Well, here's the issue. Ave Maria is Hail Mary, just in Latin, and the only reason being that we tend to have when we do the rosary, we do it in English.
Okay.
I was going to say, though, Freebird is interesting because I have before, every time we get a big Marian feast day, the gospel reading is almost always Luke's account of the Annunciation
Right.
in Luke chapter 2. And so I often say that the Annunciation is like the Freebird of the Catholic Church. Like, no matter how long we're around, we're always going to break that one out.
You know what I'm
Got to
waiting
keep it in
for?
rotation. Heavy rotation.
I'm waiting for Luke chapter 1. I'm waiting for the readings of the genealogy to be placed back into the Mass.
Let's do it.
Like, why not? I want to, and that's the only. I'm not a lector, but because they know I would just get up there and mess it all up. But I no, I have kids in the pews that need discipline. But I would love to see them do the genealogy at Mass one day.
Why not?
Why not? Okay, round 7. Hashtag Lent, hashtag Advent, or hashtag Eventbrite. Which one isn't a liturgical season no matter how many RSVPs you send? All right. Eventbrite is obviously the one out, but give us something
Y'all are gonna make
fun
me
for
sweat.
him to quip at. Speaking of quips, guys, get your Jackbox out at the end of the show. We're going to be playing Jackbox Party Pack. Let's go play some fun early Jackbox, and then we'll go for Jackbox 10. I do not have 11 yet. We're going to have some fun with some words. Maybe we even do Joke Boat. And everybody's welcome to do that. Free game. All right. The poll is pretty much fixed. You're going to have to defend Lent. Why is Lent not like Eventbrite and Advent?
I would say because what? My son is like gesturing at me wildly. No, you don't have a good joke here. I would just say that Lent.
How about this?
Man, I'm stumped on this one.
How about
Yeah,
this?
help me out here. I want to know what you got.
Eventbrite helps you plan, and everybody wants Advent for Christmas, but nobody plans on what they're going to do for Lent.
Not until the last second. Not until Ash Wednesday itself
Right.
is on there.
Yep.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
true.
All right. Round 8. St. Paul, hashtag St. Paul, full out word saint. Hashtag St. Paul, hashtag St. Peter, or hashtag Paul McCartney.
Who did not preach in Corinth?
How do you know that that's... Oh, did you read that...
It's in my chat.
You're in the chat? Yeah, okay. Because I have...
I don't know if I
That's
recall.
actually the script, yeah.
Did I mention to you? I got a perfect score on 1 Corinthians 1 through 13 in the early 90s. Don't test me on Corinth.
How about 3 Corinthians?
There is no such thing.
Are
Actually,
you
this is one of the
sure?
things that.
Tell everybody.
Well, but okay. So there's a theory out there that there was a 3 Corinthians letter, but if I understand and remember correctly, it was not able to be authentically dated to the time of Paul.
Right.
It might have been like a fabrication or a little piece of fan fiction, Corinthian fan fiction.
Right. And I think that it also is that he says I can't remember where. You have to Google this, guys, but there's a reference in another letter where he was writing from prison where he references sending them another letter. And so people say, "Oh, well, we don't know if that letter made it to him. We don't really know." All right. Who else wrote a letter to Corinth? Any guesses? Didn't.
Oh well, did Ignatius
Clement?
of Antioch write one? No, Yeah, well, that's right. Clement did.
Clement wrote a letter to
Of
Christ.
Rome.
2 or
I was
3.
trying to remember, because yeah, I was trying to remember who all the people were that Ignatius wrote. He
I'm
wrote
gonna die. I'm gonna die. I am hiding this button.
You did it again?
I did it again! Hat trick. Hat trick.
I think you're doing it on purpose.
No! I gotta hide this because it's right next to, it's on this stream deck. I'll show everybody how this happens. I'll show you the magic.
What time is it? On Thursday, November 6th at 9:16 p.m., Skynet became self-aware.
Exactly, and Shaun decided how he's gonna run this show not into the ground. I like that people are putting all of the funny emotes in the chat, though. Okay, hold on.
This is like the intro to Marvel's Secret Invasion.
You might want one of these for all of your work in your studio, but I'll show everybody how this show works. I need your donations to buy the massive stream deck because I put everything on this one thing, and these 2 buttons run my script. They scroll down so I can know what to read, and this button right here, this one goes and does the scene for the welcome intro. Right now I
hope you don't have any access to nuclear codes.
No, that's at work. That's on my government laptop, which is right here.
All right.
And my government cell phone right here. All right. I'm not part of the shutdown. All right. Defend. Oh, we just lost it. We had a tie, though. Defend Paul McCartney.
Defend Paul McCartney. I would say Paul McCartney probably has not played Corinthians, played in Corinth. Although, actually, I'm not entirely confident that he hasn't at this point.
Right.
He's played just about everywhere else.
And amphitheaters and whatnot throughout
Europe. Sir Paul, he's knighted.
Right. All right. So let's get to round 9. We're almost done. Hashtag confession, hashtag adoration, or hashtag autotune. Which one can't fix your soul?
All right.
Of course, that's autotune. Okay, we got adoration. I'm going to put in a fun one here. I cannot believe I've got a hat trick on pressing the wrong button. So on the first show, I did it like twice, and I think I went on an 8-episode streak of never hitting the wrong button. And tonight, after 2 weeks off, have a kidney stone in me and been sick all week, I did it 3 times. That's my secret. Okay, the poll ended.
It's the kidney stone talking.
It's the kidney stone. Every time. So defend adoration. Why is adoration not like autotune and confession?
I would say because adoration can help resolve and fix your emotional pain, whereas confession fixes your moral pain, and autotune fixes T-pain.
That is pretty clever. That's why I made this game for you. Okay, good job.
Yeah.
That was my favorite answer so far. And I like that the millennial Catholic said, the night's not over, referring to me maybe pressing the scene wrong.
Press it one more time.
Right,
Press it one more time.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing it. I hate it when it happens. It's a penance. Okay, round 10 is live. Hashtag monk, hashtag nun, or hashtag DJ. Which one of these can't scratch? How about that? That'll be what your prompt is. Which one of these can't scratch? I think we have media nuns, right? The Pauline sisters. They probably do some DJing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know of any.
FSPs.
I don't know.
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna use that next time. In fact, I just got in the mail my goddaughter's mother, or my daughter's godmother sent me some prayer cards from Rome, from Oscar Romero and Pope Paul VI. And where's it at? You're going to love this, Matt. 100 of each blessed medals by Pope Leo from the canonization of Carlo Acutis.
Dude.
Yeah, so
nice.
Visit New Orleans and come get a couple. I buy them all to give them all away. Okay, the poll has ended. It's none. Why is a nun not like a DJ or a monk?
Hmm. Wow. Uh, I guess I would say that the nun. Man, this is a rough one. I'm trying to think of any like nun jokes that aren't also monk jokes. Uh, I would say maybe the nun is different than the monk and the DJ because the DJ will play that funky music, the monk will play that monkey music, and
And the
the
nun will
nun
play
plays
the
none of
holy
the
music.
above.
The nun of the...
Actually,
That's good, Matt. You are really
actually
good on your feet.
I was wrong. I was wrong about something. I was wrong about something because I've got this.
The singing nun. That's famous.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. What'd you think of
Are
Pool
you impressed with
Party?
how fast I found that, by the way? Poll
I'm
party's
impressed
fun
with
times.
how you made that funky and then the monkey and then the none of the above. That
I'm
was
better at poll party than I am at Mario Party. I can tell that right now. So
okay. Well, yeah, you said you don't like the ergonomic controllers, which is backwards.
it's too
But
hard. Too
all
hard.
right, man, that was Poll Party. I hope everybody had fun. You guys can say goodbye to Matt, but Matt, I want you to have the last word. Where can people find you? What work should they go after? And just shamelessly plug your promo content.
Yeah, well, if you listen to EWTN radio early in the morning, 6 a.m. Eastern, you can catch the Sunrise Morning Show with myself and my co-host Annie, who's actually out tomorrow because she's extremely pregnant, and she'll be back next week. She's got a doc appointment. I would very much encourage you to check out Coming Home Network stuff. We have all kinds of free things. Like at this point, something like 1,500 conversion stories. Sean's on there. He's also done a couple other things as well. If you go to chnetwork.org/parish, you can get all kinds of things, including you can order brochures that say thinking about becoming Catholic that you can put in
Wow.
the back of your parish. This was very frustrating to me when I was becoming Catholic because there was nothing anywhere in the back of a parish that was would tell you what to do if you wanted to become Catholic. And then this is a project I just finished helping put together. It's Journeys Home 3. It's 13 conversion stories of people who are all Pentecostals or
Whoa.
charismatics
Yeah.
specifically, that specific background who all became Catholic. So if you go to chnetwork.org/JH3, and it's actually got a really cool set of things that you may not have realized that Pentecostals and Catholics have in common that might be good conversation starters for you, bridge builders. So you go.
Man, yeah. Next time you're on the show, we're going to talk about the wildest conversion stories, and because
There's a lot of them.
there are some really fun episodes. My favorites are the ones about Muslims and the stranger ones, Jehovah's Witnesses, and
People love the J Dubs.
yeah,
Yeah, the J Dub episodes are always fun.
how to talk to people at your front door and whatnot. Okay, man. Thanks for
Mhm.
plugging all of that. Thanks for being such an awesome guest. I hope you had fun watching me not know how to run a program.
Hey, it's if it goes smoothly, then there's something wrong. If you can run a live program and not mess up, I don't know that I trust you.
It's usually better, but it's okay. I don't care. All right, Matt, thanks. Have a good night. And if you want to come and hang out after the show, which will be in about 10-15 minutes, please stick around. I am changing it immediately after the show. We're going to play Jackbox. So don't go away and get your browser out however you want to play. Goodbye, Matt.
All right, thanks, man.
See ya. All right, Matt is actually a record setter. He is the first that actually left the Zoom call right on time. Most of these guests, I'll say, okay, right before the show starts, I'll anybody who's been a guest so far knows that we prep them, we tell them what to expect, and we're like, when we go to grind list, you can leave, and we'll meet you here afterwards. And everybody else just sticks around, and I'm like, okay, no problem. I like looking at you too. But he actually left, so he's not here anymore, and that's the story. So welcome to the grind list. This is the last segment of the night. This is where we all share what we're grinding through, either whether we're grinding for grace, of course, hopefully we all are, or grinding through a video game. So what have I done? I have a kidney stone. I am grinding away at my water bottle in order to get this stupid thing out. Gratefully, I'm not in any pain. Every time it moves down a little bit, if you're wondering, It's all nausea, and I feel like I'm sick to my stomach because it's just sitting there rolling. So if you guys could pray for that for me, that'd be great. I want this thing out. I never want to have one ever again. And it's a surprise to me that this happened because my diet has changed so well in the last year that hopefully this isn't a recurring instance for my future. I also played Little Nightmares while I was sick. Little Nightmares 1. I loved it. It was a little creepy. I liked all the little puzzles. I had to Google one of them. I just couldn't figure out what on earth it wanted me to do. Last night on the show, I'll be putting it on YouTube here if you want to go watch us play through it. I played Limbo, which was really interesting. Yes, it's a game. It's a very quick game, 3.5 hours, 4 hours or so. It's just a side scroller, and you got to solve puzzles again. And it's about a little kid who's in limbo, and he's looking for his sister who's in limbo. Literally the theological limbo. So that's pretty fun. I'm also playing Jeanne d'Arc on PSP. Yeah, I bust out my old PSP sometimes playing Jeanne d'Arc. And I'm grinding through Battlefield. I am just having such a blast playing Battlefield, upgrading my weapons. I haven't had a shooter like this that I've liked this much since like Black Ops 3 or so. So I'm having a ton of fun. If you've got Battlefield 6 or you want to, put up the Spurs with me on a squad and K-Max and Trekkie hopefully through, that'd be awesome. So get there. Okay, let's read some of your stuff. Trekkie, I'm grinding through coffee beans. K-Max, patience, personal prayers, being solo at work next week, more archipelago stuff. It's all that running. You think so? I hope you're not right because I really like doing it. Probably radioactive from the military, to be honest. No, I've been out for 20 years, but I do get free health care from the VA now. Okay, that one was great. Magician, it's so good to see you. I hope you enjoyed the show. Lemonade a day keeps the kidney stones away. Outer Worlds 2, nice. I like that game. I've heard cranberry juice. Cranberry juice is actually a myth. It cleans your gut out, but it does not get your kidney clean. The doctors are saying citrus. Don't forget Lone Game Master, Shaun. Okay, I'm not sure what you're referring to, so I think I've already forgot it. It's the best choice for space choice. Tomorrow I need to do a bunch of baking for my bake stand, and Shaun, my grandpa, had kidney stones until he died. I don't think 20 years is going to stop it. But you said it's radioactivity for the military. I don't know. Guys, that's the grind list. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Next week, it's going to be Kmart. Blue Light Special as Kmart's our guest. If you're a patron of the show, I want to give you a deep and heartfelt thanks for supporting this financially. This is how it all works. As I turn it back into all of the content here and buying the best kind of emotes I can get and making this setup as professional as possible. So thanks for making that possible with your generosity and your monthly contributions. Thank you. You guys will be acknowledged as donors in the end credits. And thanks to Pigeon Dirt. Pigeon Dirt, where you at? Thanks for the brand new follow and the immediate sub. That was such a blessing. I hope to see you very often. Remember, you grind for your grace right here every Thursday at 8 p.m. and we're streaming next Wednesday at 5 p.m. as well. Tomorrow I'm going hunting. Pray that I get a buck with my son for the very first time. Good night, and I'll see you on Jackbox.